Radio Rahim joining the scrum with Leonard Ellerbe during fight week for Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. Leonard has quite a bit to say about this fight and many other things going on in boxing.
Ryan Garcia likes fly shit. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? He likes dressing nice. He likes being around nice-looking women, and he's just a young kid who I admire his personality. I've never said anything to him other than paying each other mutual comments. I like him. He's a cool little dude, but he likes coming to fly shit. You know what I mean? He know what it is. You know what I mean? And it's like, of course, I'm sure he would love an opportunity to fight, you know, a guy like Gervonta Davis, but Ryan Davis likes to be around fly shit. He likes to be around fly events with celebrities, with nice-looking ladies, and the whole magnitude of these events. So that's why he showed it. I'm never going to turn down a guy who wants to come because, again, we're not saying or doing anything, you know, to him. I know he's a golden boy fighter, and we have a mutual respect for each other. I like how he carries himself. He likes how I carry my stuff. We talk about the fight. You know, when he's at the fights, it's like, if he made a choice to come to a Mayweather Promotions event to fight, to take a look at a eventual fighter that he might be fighting, so be it.
How was that temperament when he's the one that...
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even pay any attention to somebody...
But the underlining thing is it was a Golden Boy card in Indio that night as well.
That he chose not to go to?
Yes, he chose not to.
But guess what? If you had the opportunity to go to a local fight with some guys that are part of this right here, or you had to come over here to come to some fly shit. What choice are you gonna make?
It's very obvious.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like that. It's not like that. Somebody's putting him in a situation, say, "Oh, we want to sit down and have a meeting." The guy just want to come to some fly shit. You know what I mean? If you look around, there was Meek Mill. It was a ton of
Drake.
Yeah, it was a ton of celebrities there. He want to see those kind of people at his fights.
Right.
And he knows the tank brings him out. He ain't seen nothing yet. You know what I mean?
So would you consider what Eddie Hearn is doing, the actual tampering, by putting out deals, by trying to negotiate with your fighter, besides going through the proper steps through the team? Would you consider that tampering as opposed to what they were?
Well, it's a lot of shit that happens on behind the scenes. I know he done some slick shit behind my back, but see, I just ain't called him out on it because it ain't like, you know, it ain't affected me in a way because the fighter know he a clown. Meaning, when I say that, meaning he's a great businessman, I'm just saying that's some clown shit. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like the fighter's gonna deal with whatever they want to deal with. Trust me, Ryan Garcia ain't no damn fool. That's kind of what he is. They're doing a good job over there, Golden Boy, and that's cool. I don't know I've never had a conversation with the kid about doing something other than what he's working with, and I don't really care about any of that. But if a kid chooses to come to my event and I didn't get him no tickets or whatever, he came, he had on some fly shit. I ain't gonna lie, he came. The first thing I seen when I seen him, I said, "You looking sharp." He said, "Man, you stay looking sharp." He said, "You know, it's like," but that's the kind of stuff these young guys like, and you know, I think he has a great admiration for Gervonta. I really think that he does.
Leonard, everything said, obviously right now, Hearn has not made an offer, he spoke about it, but where we stand today at this very moment, we've seen Gervonta very vocal on Twitter talking about his next fight will be in Baltimore during the summer, July if I'm not mistaken. Can you confirm maybe possibly looking at a date in July in Baltimore or the Baltimore area?
I have the date, but I'm just not telling you guys yet.
Absolutely.
And Gervonta will be fighting at home.
Can't wait to get the chopper.
Yeah, and Gervonta Davis is a tremendous draw. I've been telling you guys that for the longest, from when we went to Brooklyn and we had, I think it was over 11,000 people there. Badu Jack was fighting in the main event, who was originally from Switzerland, and James DeGale's from the UK. We saw that, I mean, it is what it is. Gervonta Davis is one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. He's a big ticket seller, you know, and he fight his ass off.
I have one final question for you, Mr.
Sure.
Ellerbe. With as many fighters that are signed under you, and just in general in the sport that play video games? Would you be willing to entertain a platform to allow them to connect to that market of fans going forward?
Well, I just don't make rash decisions. We didn't get this far in life and in our career to make rash decisions. Just like it is as anything with a businessman, you take a good look at whatever's there, and then you make an informed decision based upon the consolidation with your team, and see what you come up with the best option that's available. And when it comes to Tank, we know, again, I'm sounding like that broken record. He's going to be the biggest star that's out there, and he's actually going to generate and make a lot more money than probably 95% of these fighters out there in the sport today, because he has the it factor. When do you see all these rappers and all these conversations? And this is a guy who had a last-minute replacement. You know, I get calls all the time where people are saying, when is this next fight? And I promise you, like I told you then, we're going to continue to stay busy, and you're going to see for yourself. All this talk about all these other fighters, and they want to fight him, and somebody even made a comment about him and Floyd being a businessman. Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. It's like, I don't even believe he said that.
Do you think we'd ever see that fight, though? To Tank and Lomachenko?
If he's around when we're doing, more than likely. And very confident that Gervonta beats him. Very, very confident.
What's the earliest?
I don't know. I ain't even give it. We have plans for Gervonta. We know what we're doing. He's going to be the biggest star in the sport. Period. Hands down. And the shit ain't even going to be close. They're going to be talking about Gervonta Davis how they were talking about Mike Tyson, the same way they were talking about Oscar at one time, the same way they were talking about Floyd. You know, Gervonta Davis is going to be on that level.
And Leonard, I want to pick your boxing brain, not the promoter brain, because you're neutral on this one. Who wins Mikey and Spence, and why?
I think Errol Spence wins the fight for a number of reasons. Love Mikey as a fighter, tremendous talent, but given to have a chance to see Errol, I've been to a lot of his fights, but just actually seeing him work in the gym. He worked with Floyd in a training camp 5-6 years ago. I know what he's capable of bringing to the table.
How'd that work?
And what Errol brings to the table, he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the strongest guy in the world. And there might be one or two attributes that Mikey might have better than him. But one thing about Errol, he's very consistent. And it's hard to beat a guy who's young, athletic, and who's very consistent. You know what I mean? He gets into a rhythm and he does things, and it's hard to beat a big, strong guy with a good jab, and he stays with an educated jab, and he understands the game, because it's like, but more importantly, what I found out firsthand, you gotta have some shit to keep him off of you. I watched him and Floyd in camp, and it gets no better than fighting the best guy there, and it's like, you know, he gave Floyd some great work.
And there was a lot of rumors about that. He gave Floyd a black eye.
No. It's not even about that. And real cats don't discuss, you know, what goes on, you know, like the details in camp. He's a tremendous fighter. He gave Floyd some of the best work that he's had. And it's like, you gotta think when you fight him. But he puts mental pressure on you that it forces you to make a lot of mistakes. It forces you to make a lot of mistakes, because he's not going to go overboard with certain things. He just does every single thing, and it's hard to be the guy with a good jab, with good sound fundamentals. He's in great shape for 12 rounds, and he's looking to punish you. You know what I mean? I think the flip side, Mike is a tremendous talent. I watched him beat a couple other black fighters who are very athletic and all of the above. But Errol just brings a lot more to the table. Other than his confidence, he has the skill set, and he's relentless, but more importantly, consistent. Errol hits you on the arms, he hits you in the body, and you hurt. It ain't always about hitting him upside the head. You know what I mean? It's like Errol breaks you down over a period of time, and it just would not surprise me. People saying, "Oh, it could be the later," but would not be, because you have to have something to keep him off of you. You can turn him all day, you can do this, but it's just like he's gonna walk through that.
Do you think we're going to see a unified welterweight division?
Oh yeah, I definitely. How can you not? How can you not? The AL, PBC, they have all the welterweights. So how you not gonna see the best fighting the best?
What will be your timetable for that?
Oh, I don't know, because I'm not really concerned with that. I'm involved with some other stuff, but I know what's going on. I know every fight that's going on about to be made and all the above. But there are a lot of competitive fights within the PBC that are going to get made, not could be made, that are going to get made.
I mean, is EJ's boxing IQ underrated? We always talk about Mike.
Very much so. Very much so. The kid can go. I can honestly say firsthand, I got a chance to see him box Floyd. I was extremely impressed, and it wasn't that that some have one way or another, but it's just very impressive to see a young guy that reminds you a lot of yourself. You know what I mean? But then he happens to be left-handed, he happens to be bigger, and it's like, Errol is a beast.
Are you surprised?
He's a fucking beast, man. I'm just like, but that's why I do respect Mikey for taking this fight, because a lot of times, I'm telling you guys, it looks a little easier until you get up in there. It looks just a little bit easier until you get up in there. And Errol Spence has one of the best jabs in boxing. He's probably the best body puncher in boxing. You know, just same way they talked about Whitaker's defensive skills.
Sure.
Pernell was also one of the best body punchers in the sport. You know, and Errol is he has a punishing jab, and and the mental pressure that he puts on you, you got to have some shit to back him up. If you don't have nothing to back him up, then what are we talking about?
What would happen with him and Crawford, since we got you going, Leonard? Would he beat Crawford, Spence, or you got to give it to Terrence in that fight?
Spence beat Crawford. And
he's that special, huh?
Spence beats Crawford, and I think Terrence is the best fighter in the world. It's just that and the thing about Errol, he's got better. I personally see from when he worked with Floyd how much better that he's gotten. It's just little tips that he's gotten from Floyd, and it's just like, he's tough, man. That dude is one tough. That dude is one tough dude, and it's like, if you got a fighter and you got to go through him on some real shit, you better probably be going the other way. Probably better be going around that other door, man.
Why are some of the legends picking Mikey, do you think?
Well, because a lot of times what happens is that a lot of the legends who, you know, they had a tremendous amount of success in the sport, but shit is different. Shit is different. Yeah. When I brought Errol in for camp, I mean, we had like 5 killers that Floyd was working with, and I felt bad because it was like 5 championship fights that Floyd had to fight. I mean, you know, to work back to back to back. But with Errol, it's like that shit was a fight.
Really?
It was a fight because it's like, and he don't approach it. He's one of the most respectful, humble guys that are out there. He just comes to do his thing. But the dude can go, and Mikey can go too. But I just think that he doesn't have enough to keep him off of him for 12 rounds. Mikey has tremendous footwork, excellent counter puncher, but if you're not putting that heat on Broner, Easter, meaning the heat where it's just like what are you gonna do with Errol Spence? A guy that's gonna keep on coming and coming and coming and coming. But I think it's gonna be an excellent fight, and again, 1000% you got to give the nod to and people make a big deal out of there's no pressure on Mikey. Mikey got a lot of damn pressure on him. Don't be fooled with none of that, because as good as Mikey is, Mikey don't want to go into this fight and not only does it come off on the other side of the fence, but you can get beat up in a fight and never be the same. You know what I'm saying? This is a very dangerous fight for him. Very, very dangerous. But again, I love his courage. I think that he's one of the best fighters out there. We would have loved to work with the kid, and it's like he's an exceptional talent. And you see how, you know, he worked with the brothers and, you know, all of that. And again, nothing but mad respect for Mikey. That's why I'm saying Errol will have to get way more credit with beating and dominating Mikey Garcia the way that I envisioned it to have. He might not get the stoppage, but I'm telling you, he's going to inflict a lot of damage and a lot of, you know, pain to it. But he just has no choice. I mean, you know, it's not like that Errol's going to set a trap for him and okay, yeah, I'm coming. And he's not going to be able to figure it out. I mean, Errol's done seen it up. Shit, fucking Errol done boxed Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's all you need to know. And it was a thinking thing. Yeah, this shit is chess, not checkers. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that was 5, 6 years ago when they boxed.
That's what Derek James said yesterday. He's like, he sparred with Floyd Mayweather. I don't think Mikey's as smart as Floyd. So that
no, he's not. But maybe some of these media types might say that. I've heard them say that Lomachenko was better than Floyd. So I mean, some of these idiot media types, and not none of you guys.
Hey, Leonard. But let me get one in. There's a lot of speculation that Wilder may be announcing a deal with DAZN next week. Obviously, that we have him working with Eddie Hearn, 2 fights with Joshua possible. What do you think about him making that deal, Eddie Hearn, and then 2 fights with Joshua?
I don't know. I don't have all the details, but I have all the details. I just, you know, I'm just not going to speak on it. But, you know, just Deontay Wilder, exceptional fighter. You know,
is it a good move for him? Is what I'm saying. And how do you make those fights?
I cannot speak on somebody else's situation, but what I can tell you is that this is what I can speak on. We were once in a situation in 2006 that a contract was brought to us, and it had a lot of numbers on it. And I think we know who the numbers came from. And it probably was like 4 or 5 fights. And some of the numbers and we were looking at them simultaneously. It was De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, and it was a number of fights. And then it looked like a lot of money. It looked like a lot of money that was on the table. Like, for example, one of the numbers that I can fully recall was fighting Oscar De La Hoya at $15 million. You know what I mean? And another number I can use, Ricky Hatton at 12.5. You know, so it looks good to the layman who really doesn't understand, like, oh, well, why would you take that? But it's always, if you got the right kind of team, it's the big picture. It's the big picture. It's like, little did people know that, like, with Gervonta Davis, is that whatever number they thrown at it, and they said something about Gervonta Davis made more money than that in the last fight.
Can Wilder win those fights with Joshua?
Wilder can beat any of those heavyweights. In my eyes, Wilder is the best heavyweight that's out there. That's just in my eyes.
You said the Tank is a homecoming. Is a possible opponent.
Radio Rahim with Leonard Ellerbe.